Good afternoon, lovely spirits. It's the wise servant here, Mr. Solace. And today I want to do this very deep video. Is there a God or a supreme or superior deity or being that we're supposed to worship? And it's very deep. In today's times, you have people believing in so many different things. It's a very deep thing. Now, in order for y'all to grasp this video, I need to get into universal law first. But before I begin the video, let me move the camera first. Sorry about that. Now, is there a supreme being or a God that we're supposed to worship? In order for me to explain this to y'all, I need y'all to understand universal order. Some people call it universal law. But there's no law when you're dealing with the universe. There's only order. If you go against the order, then what you have left is disorder, and you have to live with that. But there's no law. Law is a force thing. It has to do with punishment by force. The universe does not deal with force. It does not deal with these impure things. It just deals with order. You live with the order or you live against it. Now I want to break down universal law or order so that y'all can grasp if we're supposed to worship a God or a supreme deity over us. Now when you're dealing with universal order or law, you have many people that teach this, and they say this is universal law and this is universal law. The first thing I want to say is this: there is no order of universal law. So if someone tells you this is the first universal law and this is the second universal law, they're making this up. There is no order, because if you're learning from the universal conscious, there are no words. It's a tapped-in thing. So if anyone's teaching you universal law or order, and they're telling you that there's a certain numbering system, like this is first, this is second, this is third, they made that up. Also, if they tell you there's a certain way to say it, then they made this up, because universal conscious does not deal with words. You have to express it in your own words. And how you express it will all determine if you're truly tapped in or not. So if you heard someone speaking of universal law and they're speaking of it as if it's a law and punishment in the way that man views law, then this person has no understanding of universal conscious. They have no understanding of the universe, the cosmos, none of this. They have no understandings of life. So I just want to put that out there. Now when you're dealing with universal order, which y'all call law, you have give and receive. This is the only law, truly. All other laws come from this one, and they go back to it. So all laws correlate with give and receive. And this is truly the only universal law. Give and receive. Now it's a deep thing, because many people may say give and receive. How do I know that's a real universal law? How do I know that's just not a law that you made up, Solace? Well, when you're dealing with the universe, you have the unphysical and you have the physical, and they're tied in. So the unphysical becomes physical, the physical goes to the unphysical, and back and forth. So anything that a man says that has to do with the universe, you should see it in the physical. If a man tells you something that can't be seen, Like give and receive. This is a word. This is a thought. Now you need to see that physically in order for you to say he's right. That is a real universal law. Because when you're dealing with the universe, the unphysical will always manifest into the physical. Now when you're dealing with give and receive, being as though this is a universal law or order, it is inevitable. You cannot avoid it. So you know give and receive is a real law that I'm not making up because you breathe. You receive in oxygen and you exhale. So you received and then you automatically had to give back. And that's universal law and order. And you cannot avoid it. You see how it manifests into the physical? You're a physical being. And you breathe in, therefore you must breathe out. Receive and give, or give and receive, will manifest itself out into the physical life because it's a real law or order. You eat food, you receive it in, and then you shit out. Give and receive. You shit back what you received back to the life. You got the food from the ground, from the earth. You shit back to the earth. Give and receive. You breathed in from the atmosphere. Therefore, you had to breathe out back to the atmosphere because you always have to give and receive. If you receive, you must give. This is universal law. It is unavoidable. You plant a seed into the earth. The earth gives you back. You see how the law manifests itself into the physical, where you have no control over it. You have no control. If you inhale, you will have to exhale. If you eat, you'll have to shit. So you see how give and receive manifests itself into the physical life. And it's like a guide for you. You have to keep this order going. So now when you're dealing with other physical beings, you have to keep this order going. The same way the life showed you, give and receive is a real thing, you have to keep the law in order going. If a man gives you something, you have to give something back to that man. It is law. Men don't grasp. Life becomes unbalanced. See, the way life works is it's service to others. This is why I call myself the servant. You have greater things, you have least things. The greater things have to raise up the least. They have to service those that are less than them. If you need an example, a mother and a child. The mother is greater than the child, therefore she has to service the child. Take care of the child, raise the child up. It's her duty, being as though she's greater. And this is the order of life. You have great things, you have least things, or things that's less. The things that's less, they're ascending up to be greater, and the things that's greater are ascending up to be even more greater. And this is the order. And this works because those that are greater, they tend to those that are least. And this is how those that are least ascends up to be greater. And this is how those that are greater ascend up to be even more greater. Because everyone's following that order. Service to others. Serve those that are less than you. Therefore, all can be balanced and all can continue to ascend up. Consciously, physically, however. Now, when a man gets lost into service to self, which is the way we live now, everyone's looking to have themselves serviced. So whatever you do, it's for the purpose of gaining for self. It has nothing to do with anyone else. It has nothing to do with the totality of life. You do what you do so that you can be rewarded. So everyone lives service to self. When that happens, The greater things are not raising up the least things. They're standing on it. They're ruling over it. This stops the ascent. This not only stops those that's beneath, but this stops those that are above. So those that are greater, this stops them too. Because when you're focused on service and self, you push that out into the light, that becomes the imbalance. Now those above you, they don't reach down to service you, but they do you the same way. They rule over you. So now if you look out into this life, we have status, and everyone's over everyone. 50 Cent has more money than the guys he grew up with, so he's over them. He's better than them. Oprah has more money than 50, so she's better than him. She's over him. And this is how you get that service to self way of life, where no one's reaching down to lift up, but everyone's looking to service themselves. And it's a deep thing you have to grasp. Men have to learn truth directly from the light. This is why I teach learning from the light. Now this all boils back to the question, are we supposed to worship a higher up? And it's a deep thing, because worship is a dominion thing. The life, the cosmos, the universe, this does not deal with that. That is lost. Dominion, being above others. This is service to self. This has nothing to do with the order. So we're not supposed to worship any higher up, but we're supposed to acknowledge there's a higher up. And you're supposed to pull for that higher up. You're supposed to reach for guidance from that higher up to pull yourself up. So it's not a matter of worship, but it's a matter of acknowledgement. It's a matter of respect, understanding, and you reach for that higher up to ascend yourself up. So there is no worship, there is nothing over anything, but you have things that are greater than other things. And these greater things have to be of service to the things that are less. And the things that are less have to continue that same service to other attitude. Now in today's times you have many different teachers. You have many different people in general. And you have some people, they believe in gods. It doesn't matter what God, Allah, Brahma, Vishnu, Krishna, Jesus, El, whatever. Some men believe in gods. You have other men that believe in self. Then you have those that believe in nothing. They're just kind of lost in the light. They don't know what to believe in. Now those that believe in God, they're more close to truth. The only thing they have wrong is the dominion aspect. So those that believe in God, they reach for a higher up. They understand that there's more to them. There's more to life than just self. There are things that are above them. Their only problem is they're lost in dominion, in worship. See, God is a dominion word. It makes the person that follows this a slave. If you believe in God, that makes you a slave to God. This is wrong. God, in the way y'all believe it, God is servicing self, not others. This is why y'all are enslaved consciously. But the person that believes in a God or a higher up, they're on a closer path to truth than the person that believes in self. Grasp. The person that believes in self is completely cut off from any knowledge or any understanding. All they know comes from self, which is made up. All is tied in, yet they learn from self. They worship self. They believe in self. This is what they teach. You must learn from self. They're more lost than the person that's following God. because they cut themselves off from the higher-ups. It's like a child saying, I don't need to learn from my parents, I can learn from myself. Yet they know nothing. You need to learn from your parents before you can learn from anything higher than them. You must go through the steps. But a person that believes in self, they have completely cut themselves off. They are into service in self. Their teachings will come across that way. Now you have those that don't believe in nothing, and this is because they don't know. Now these people will be easiest to reach, but they will be easiest to go astray, being as though they know nothing. And it's a deep thing you have to grasp. These are the three types you have. Now, all the teachers that we have in today's times that teach, they all fall into these three categories. They're either teaching you to believe in a God. They're either teaching you to believe in self. Or they're either teaching you to believe in nothing. You have teachers that teach. But you notice that they have no true belief, or they just teach you this thing, that thing, that thing. There's no structure. There's no order. Now, y'all know me. I believe in the life. The life is all. And this is the source, the hierarchy source that you learn from. God, self, all the... Self is when you're lost. But gods, men, books, all of these are steps you take until you get to that hierarchy, which is the all, which is the life. And that's when you tap in, and that's when you have a true source of learning. And all other things is just steps to that. Now, when you're learning from your teacher, if your teacher is teaching you to learn from self, he's teaching you to serve his self. This goes against universal law. If a man is teaching you to believe in a God, this goes against universal law, because God is a dominion thing. It's a dominant thing. It's a most high thing. There are no most highs. There are things that are greater than other things. But there's no most highs. There's nothing that's over anything else. Now, things that are greater than others can get lost into that and begin to become dominant over the things that are beneath them. But this is a sign of being lost. This is how you're supposed to know, I believe in a God, yet that goes against universal law. God is lost into service of self. He has not continued to ascend up. He's floated off at some point in time. So it's a deep thing. The man that believes in self, he has the same problem that they say Lucifer had in the Lucifer story. He viewed himself as the Most High. He was full of pride. The man teaching you self, he's lost in that. He's no longer pulling for a higher up. He views himself as the high, the Most High. And he's encouraging you to be the same, the Most High. But we all know we are not that. So you have to grasp. Teaching you to be lost. Those that don't believe in anything, they're the most lost. But it's a deep thing you have to grasp. Men are being taught through the Satan in every aspect. It doesn't matter what one knows or what one learns. You have to always have morality to grasp. Is what you're learning of the Satan, of the all. Because God and Satan is one and the same. It's a most high thing. The life has nothing to do with that. The life is all giving and receiving. The life is all those that are greater must service those that are beneath. But the way we live, we make those that are beneath service those that are greater. And this stops the ascent for all. Because now those that are greater, they have nothing above them to pull for. Because those that are above them are using them to service themselves. And they're using those that are beneath them to service themselves, and so forth. The pastor at the church, he's using the He's using the following to service himself. He's not servicing the following. It's a deep thing. This is why morality is important. Before you learn anything, you must learn morality. You must be truthful to self. You must learn how to find balance. You must learn how to accept truth of yourself. Because we all get lost into Satan. We all get lost into the physical desire. This interferes with your morality. This interferes with your balance. You cannot grasp or learn anything if you have no morality. Whatever you learn, it will be accepted or it will be received through the Satan aspect of self. And it's a deep thing you have to grasp. You have to have morality. Simple thing. If you're teaching, what is your purpose of teaching? To make others smarter? Why? Who's to say they're not smarter than you? If you do not learn from the light and tap into the source, then how can you say that you're wiser than them? They believe in God. You don't. You're trying to save them from believing in God, yet you have no source of knowledge or understanding. So you're telling them not to believe in God so that they can believe in what? Self? Nothing? This is not good. You must always reach for a higher than self. If you cannot see nothing above self, then this should let you know that you're lost. This is why when I teach, I always speak of the light. I learn from the light. I'm the humble servant, because there's no room for getting lost. Men say I have an ego. I don't have an ego. Y'all are lost. Y'all do not understand things. It's as simple as that. A brother told me, he said, you view yourself as higher than others. I told him, if I did, I wouldn't be speaking to you. You can't talk to Queen Elizabeth because she really views herself as higher than you. So you won't even get a word out of her. You're nothing. I'm conversing with you. You just don't like what I'm saying because it's the truth that you don't want to face. So then you say, oh, you have an ego, Solace. You view yourself as higher than others. But I teach y'all. Y'all are lower than me in conscience. Yet I indulge with y'all. I teach y'all. I converse with y'all. Y'all think y'all know more than me. Y'all try to tell me. You learn from me. You try to tell me how to teach. How do you know how to teach if you don't even know? Grasp. You don't even know how to learn. So you're trying to learn from me and other teachers. Yet you're trying to tell me how to teach. That's ego. Grasp. If you ask a man a question and he gives you an answer and you don't like how he said it, you have an ego when you try to tell him he has an ego. Because he's talking to you. He doesn't have to. He can really have an ego and say you're not worth conversing with. You're nothing. This is not what I do. I tell y'all the truth. Y'all just don't want to hear it. I don't butter it up. I don't make it sound nice. I say it just how it is. You lost. Then get mad. They say you have an ego. Doesn't bother me, but it just shows. Men have no balance. They have no morality. Y'all will betray one another for the smallest, stupidest things. No morality. Brothers teach so that they can make money. They view teaching as an outlet for them to make revenue. They don't teach to service others. Therefore, they don't care if what they're teaching is of truth. Most men that teach, they believe in their heart. I don't know what's really what. They don't believe that there's no repercussions for their actions. They figure they can do whatever in this physical, and that's it. There's truly no repercussions. And it's a deep thing. Because all unphysical things manifest into the physical and back and forth. Whatever you do in this existence, you will pay for it. In this existence, and in every existence you experience until you deal with self. In the truth and morality of self. So all those you mislead in this life, you will deal with it continuously. In this life and every other life. It's a deep thing. All the spirits that are lost, because you've been misleading them, you're responsible for them. And there's no getting around that. We tend to think, oh, no, it's not. We think it's just words. Oh, I'm responsible for them. No, you're truly responsible for them. Whatever they suffer, you suffer. Because you're the cause of it. They suffer because they're lost, and they chose to be lost by learning from a man who didn't make life. And you will suffer for service in self, misleading people. Let people be misled on their own. Don't take no part in misleading them, because in that you mislead yourself and you must suffer the consequences. It's a deep thing. Most men, my life is peaceful. I don't have any issues. Many of the teachers, they have issues. And this is because they're not teaching truth. They're teaching from service of self perspective. They truly have no beliefs. They believe in themselves. It's a deep thing. They didn't make life, but they believe in self. Brothers will tell you, meditate. Meditating is just tapping into peace. Peace and quietness. This is all meditation is. If you know nothing, you can meditate all day. You're not going to learn anything from meditating. You don't get knowledge from meditating. But men just regurgitate what they hear because it sounds good. I get my knowledge from meditation. What are you talking about? Meditation is just peace and quiet. It gives you a moment to reflect on what you know or what you learned. But you don't get knowledge from meditating. You get knowledge from being tapped into life, the same way the animals and everything else in life learn. Men don't learn like that. Men learn from themselves and other men. They learn from meditation and things they made up. That sounds good, but it truly does nothing. If you're meditating, it should just be for purposes of peace. You had a chaotic day, you need peace and quietness so you can reflect on things that happened in the day. So you meditate to block out all the chaos. But you learn nothing from meditating. You don't receive knowledge from meditating. You receive knowledge from the light. And men just don't grasp this. They try to go every place but to the light. And it's because they don't know how to learn from the light. And it's because they cut themselves off. Because they don't obey the universal order. They don't obey morality. They're lost in service to self instead of service to others. So therefore, they can't learn from life. Life cuts them off the same way they cut life off. You don't go with the order, then you're stuck with the disorder. And this is where we are. And it's a very deep thing men have to grasp. Being lost is a very deep thing. Now I'm going to go ahead and end this video and get on with my day because it's still early. It's afternoon time, maybe 1 or 2. And I want to go out to the light and just enjoy. So I'm going to be signing out. I want to say peace and wisdom, give and receive. Balance is all, the life is all. The all is everything. When you're reaching for gods and this thing and that, it's the all. It's the life. Minus the perspective y'all view God in, with the dominion thing. Minus that. Also, I want to say, because people keep inboxing me about Eligio. Eligio did a video where he said he was having sex with his wife. When he was done, his son came into the room and started playing with his penis. And he let his son do that. I want to let all of you know I have no comment. I am not here to judge anyone. I truly can care less. Now, we all know letting a child play with a grown man's penis, this is wrong. Men are supposed to cover themselves. Women are supposed to cover themselves. Why? Because of lust purposes. You walk around naked, this will push out a certain energy. So you cover yourself. Now, I know I did a video where I said when women get their period, they're supposed to walk around naked. But I didn't say around other men. I said be alone with the life. So please don't reach to say stupid things. Grasp what I say or don't. But in any event, I have no judgment for Eligio. It's not my place to judge anyone. All I can say is, that's disgusting. Simple as that. Y'all already know this. I'm sure he knows this. I'm sure he wouldn't want his son playing with another man's penis. Maybe he does. I don't know. But in any event, stop asking me about Eligio. Stop asking me about anyone, because I'm not concerned with these brothers. They're lost. But they can be. It's not, I can't say who can't be lost and who can. I can't tell that man, oh, you're not supposed to let you. He can do whatever he chooses to do with his property. His son is his property. He's his own property. He can do whatever he chooses. It's not my place. And it's a simple thing y'all have to grasp. I'm not concerned. If men don't know what's right and what's wrong, this is what I teach for. Those that want truth, they will lock into my teachings, and they will stop looking around for other people to learn from. They will just lock in, learn from me, use me to pull themselves up to learn from the light, which is the source. And then they can be done with all the foolery. And then they can just learn an abundance of knowledge, an abundance of infinite knowledge that never ends. And they can receive for as long as they choose. It's a simple thing. Y'all entertained by these things. Eligio letting his son play with his penis, y'all are entertained by this. This is why y'all talk about it. This is why y'all... I don't understand. I really don't understand, but it has nothing to do with me. I don't care. My son is not playing with my penis, and that's that simple. And he never will. In fact, when me and my son pee together, and we play sword piss fight, it's a deep thing I do with my son. We pee together. And we play piss sword fights, but I had to stop doing that because, you know, kids, they get out of hand. He want to start getting all crazy with his dick, with his piss sword. You know, pee all over the goddamn bathroom. I'm like, you still got to make the pee go inside the goddamn toilet. You can't get lost in the playing piss fight, and you forget to make the pee go in the toilet, young man. So we can't play piss fight swords no more because she just carried away. But this is what me and my son does. One day I seen him looking at my penis too hard, and I told him, don't be looking at no man's penis like that. If you do, I'm going to have to stop peeing with you, because that's not right. Now he grinned. He didn't fully grasp. I did, though. He's never seen anyone's penis except for his own. So to see my penis is bigger than his, it blows him off. Like, oh, shit. So this is why he's staring. But I just want to let him know, don't stare at men's penis. Don't do that. So now he knows. He felt embarrassed, like. So it's a deep thing. Now when we pee, he doesn't really stare. He'll look, and then that's it. And he'll look away, and he'll remember. Because he knows. You don't do that. But it is what it is, man. Raise the kids up right. Whatever perverted things you put on them, they're going to bring that with them through their life. So it's a deep thing. It's like I tell y'all, man, I don't hit my kids. I don't believe in physical discipline. Spankings, I don't. And I never will. Violence brings about violence. It's that simple. If you have to physically put your hands on someone for them to respect you and understand you, then you're the one with the problem. You have a problem expressing yourself correctly. And this is why people probably don't pay you any mind. This is why the children don't listen to you, because you don't express yourself right. Y'all probably yell and curse at them and get all crazy, as opposed to just explaining to them what's what. I just talk to my kids. Ain't no yelling, and sometimes I curse them out if they get beside themselves, like my son. You got to tell them things 50 times. So I'll tell them nice 10 times, then the 11th time I'll scream on him. Yo, what's wrong with you, man? You don't know how to hear? Then he cries, he gets it, but there's no spanking. You don't hit people, period, whether kid or not. What don't people understand about that? That's assault. You can't say, oh, that's my child, I'm disciplining them. You still assaulted them. You're teaching them assault. Then when they grow up and they don't express themselves right, and they don't know how to talk to people, all they know how to do is fight, then we don't get it. We like, man, I don't understand. You've been spanking them, that's why. They understand spanking. They don't understand talking. It's like I told my son the other day. He sat there with his face so screwed up. I said, what's wrong? Nothing. You have to speak, young man. If you don't say what's wrong with you, then your problem can't be fixed. So you have to express yourself. You don't sit there expressing yourself with your face screwed up because I don't speak that language. I speak words. Say what's the matter so I can help you. Then he said what the problem was, which was absolutely nothing. But we just have to get better. Not to say I'm perfect, anything like that, but I've been doing what I do for a while. I have a sense of morality. I don't lie to myself. I keep everything in truth, even with self. I reflect on self and how I deal with people on a day-to-day. And I try to keep everything peaceful and balanced. And people have to just go into that, man. Y'all have to understand, a lot of people that y'all follow, they're lost. Most of them. Really all of them. But it's a deep thing. When I say that, people get lost in the ego. They think, oh, he got an ego. He's just trying to shit on people. It's the truth. All you got to do is listen. They're not teaching you anything but physical stuff. Here they say spiritual and this thing and that thing, but that ain't how they move, and that ain't what they're teaching. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. It's your main man, Solace, the humble, wise servant of the light, peace and wisdom.